Hi, I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot. Today I'd like to talk to you about tarot and crystals. How can you use the two disciplines combined? Hi, welcome back. So you've got a shelf full of tarot cards, you've got a shelf full of crystals or a box full of crystals, and you've been using crystal therapy and you've been doing tarot cards and you've kind of been keeping the two separate. But what can you do with crystals to add to your tarot readings or to your workings with tarot? How can you combine those two disciplines? And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you 7 ways to use crystals in your tarot practice. And if you're very good and you stay right to the end of the video, I will be giving you a bonus tip, okay? Okay, so let's look at the very first way that you can use crystals in your tarot practice. And it's probably the most obvious and probably the easiest thing to do. And that is to actually use crystals to cleanse your cards. Okay, so we all know that when we work with our cards, we pick up negative energies or just stagnant energies, more than negative energies. I think the cards have absorbed stagnant energy. And a really good way of cleansing your cards is to use crystals. Now, I find that for cleansing cards, amethyst works best. Now, you can either use a huge big chunk of amethyst like this, like I've got, okay, or you can use a much smaller amethyst crystal, all right, it's actually quite pretty, or you can even use an amethyst stone, the tumbled stone, all right. It doesn't really matter. If you don't have money for a great big chunk of amethyst like that, go and buy yourself a little stone, and they all work exactly the same. So you can cleanse your cards using amethyst crystal. Now, you can also use crystals to store with your cards. So if your cards are in, say, a box, let me show you. So let's say you take your cards out once you've bought them and you put them into a separate box, like a little box like this. Okay, they're your cards. You can then take a crystal or crystals and pop them in with your cards, okay? So you can constantly have that crystal energizing the cards, or at least preventing any stale energies from attaching themselves to those cards. Now, I'm not going to say you have to use this or you have to use that. What I want you to do is I want you to use your intuition, because I feel that different crystals will go with different types of decks. So if you have a dark deck, you'd want to use something like smoky quartz, or if you have got a very light fairy deck, you might want to use clear quartz, or if you've got a love deck, you could use some rose quartz. Now, you can use any crystal, but what I'm suggesting is you use your intuition when doing this. Okay, so store your cards with a crystal. Okay. Number 3, okay, you can combine your tarot cards with crystals when doing aura or chakra rebalancing or healing. So let us say that you are doing a chakra balancing and you are putting the different stones or the different crystals on the different chakras. For instance, what you could do is for the solar plexus chakra, you could perhaps use the sun card, okay? Or perhaps for the heart chakra, you could use the lover's card. So there, I would say use your intuition to choose the card that you are using. Now, there's a 4th way that you can use crystals, and I kind of like this. You can use crystals to energize your reading. So you're in your reading room, or you're in your reading area, and you're busy, you want to do a reading, or you're going to just do a reading, or you're busy doing a reading. You can use crystals by placing them within the surroundings. So you can either put them on your table, on your reading table, or on your altar, or somewhere nearby. And the energy of the crystal will just help boost that reading. This also really works. I found personal experiences taught me that this actually does work. And one of the best crystals I found to use for this is something called sodalite. And I'm afraid I don't actually know where my sodalite crystal's gone to, but I use this quite often actually. So it might be in my drawer. But sodalite is one of the crystals that I find works really well for this. Okay. Now, number 5. how to use crystals when you are busy trying to communicate with your guides or your spirit guides, or your angels, your familiars, that sort of thing. And you can use crystals to again enhance the energy and as a focal point before or during a reading to encourage your guides to cluster closer. Two best crystals to use in this case, because we are dealing with a far higher, much higher beings and far higher sort of level of existence, I find that clear quartz and selenite work really, really well. Now I've got an example of clear quartz. Again, you can use a great big wodge of clear quartz. This is clear quartz, actually called ghost quartz, because it's not 100% clear, but this is little crystal quartz, clear quartz, okay? Crystal quartz, you can use this. And if you don't have a massive chunk like this, you can use a little tiny piece like that, okay? It doesn't matter if you don't have a massive crystal. Use the little one. The intention is there. The energies are going to be exactly the same. Okay, so you can use crystal quartz for this, or you can use selenite. I've got a nice long... Everybody knows selenite. It's one of those crystals that you can't actually get wet, because if you get this wet, it kind of dissolves. I made a huge mistake many years ago. I tried to cleanse my beautiful chunk of selenite in some salt water, and it literally... I went back the next morning and it was gone. It was like just completely gone. So this, you don't get it wet, especially with salt water, but this is selenite, and you can see it's a beautiful kind of crystally crystal, if that makes sense. It's a crystally crystal. So this also definitely helps encourage your guides to come and stand around and just help you. All right. Now, if you are doing altar work or magic with a K, using your tarot cards, okay, what you can do is you can enhance again the energy or enhance the spell or the type of magic that you are doing by using crystals, by incorporating crystals into that spell work, into that magic work. And two of the best that you can do, or best that you can use, one is aventurine, green aventurine, okay, and the other one is citrine. Now I'm going to show you what citrine looks like. We all know what aventurine looks like. But now citrine comes in many different forms. You get the polished stone, the tumbled stone, and then you also get the actual crystal itself. Now this one is not natural. It has been cut to create a double termination, okay? So this is actually being cut, but this is the crystal, all right? This is citrine crystal. And then we also get it in like a stony, this is also crystal, but it looks like a tumbled stone, but it's actually crystal, okay? So this is citrine, all right? And it is a beautiful, beautiful, warm, amazing crystal to use. And it's definitely a crystal that you can use to amplify any magical work that you might be doing. Even if it's a bit of a kind of darkish magic, you want the energy, okay? So citrine or green aventurine. Now the seventh way that you can use your tarot, your crystals is you can use clear quartz to enhance your intuition during a reading. Again, your quartz, crystal quartz, clear quartz, in this case, try to get a piece that doesn't have ghosting in it. Try to get a proper piece of clear quartz it actually looks like glass, okay? The clearer the quartz, the better in this situation. And you can use it to just enhance your intuition, okay? Just by leaving it around, leaving it in the area, using it by placing it on the cards, or even placing it within the spread itself. Okay, and that will help you draw on that energy, and it will just open your mind to a higher vibration. Now, I'm going to give you a bonus. Thank you for staying with me if you're still here. I'm going to give you a bonus point, okay? And this is quite a cool one that you can do with your clients. So just quickly, because I know we're running on. Get yourself a little bag or a little box, okay? Nice box like this. And what you do is pop a whole assortment of crystals and stones. If you've got crystals, if you don't want people to touch your crystals, throw a whole lot of different colored tumbled stones in. And then what you do is before you do your reading, get your client to pick a stone. Put the hand in, rummage around and pick a stone. And then what you can do is actually use that stone, focus on that stone, and use that stone as a starting off or a jumping off point or starting point to start your reading, incorporating that stone and its vibrational energy in your reading. That's a fun way of doing it. It's a fun way of also incorporating your client into the reading in a physical way. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been a bit of an eye-opener, a little bit of a long video, but I really think that you can use these tips and tricks, and they definitely will help you in your tarot reading practice. I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot, and I will see you on the flip side.